Okay, so the geometric mean has a different relationship between the sides of right triangles. And so I'm going to be looking at equations for these three variables. So you could be dealing with a leg here of the big triangle. We know it's a leg because it connects at the 90. Okay, we have one with the other leg of the triangle. And we also have a relationship with what is called the altitude. So it's another line that meets at a 90 degrees on the opposite side. So if I want to deal with a leg, which would be z or x, all right, it's going to be, so for the leg, it's going to be leg equals the square root of attached times whole. What I mean by that is, all right, if I want z, okay, since that is a leg or a yellow piece of the triangle, the attached part, so this little piece, it's a little attached piece, so it's connected to z, that's a little attached, 3 times this whole section here. So you'd have to add those together to get 30. 3 times 30, and it's going to be the square root of that. So z equals the square root of 90. Now to simplify that, looks like we have a 3 out here. Okay. You can simplify this with your perfect squares. So your perfect squares would be like, so 2 squared equals 4, 3 squared equals 9, 4 squared equals 16, and so on. These over here are called your perfect squares on the right side because you can take the square root of them and get a whole number. Okay, so I could break 90 down into 9 times 10. My guess is if you try these top three, probably 4 and 9 to divide out, you should be good. So then square root of 9 is 3, and then you'd have square root of 10. So that would go here. All right. The other leg, so if you needed to find x here, so x is still a leg, x would be equal to the square root of the attached times the whole. Now the attached part to x is 27 right here. So then the attached part now is the 27 because it's attached to the x here. So it would be 27 times the whole thing, attached times whole, so it'd be times 30. And so you'd have x equals the square root of 810. All right. Then if you also needed the altitude here, so for the y, if it's an altitude, okay, the altitude is equal to the square root of piece times piece of the hypotenuse. So y would be equal to the square root of 3 times 27. So it's all about which one you're finding. If you're finding a leg, it's attached times outside. If it is the altitude, it would be piece times piece of the hypotenuse. So y equals 3 times 27, which is 81. Square root of 81 is 9.